They called him Bapu, father of the nation. But long before he became the face of peace, he was just a shy boy in India, afraid to speak in public. How did this quiet man become a global symbol of nonviolence? How did he defeat an empire, without lifting a single weapon? Let's go back to the beginning. Gandhi was born in 1869 in a small town called Porbandar in India. He came from a humble but respected family. His father was a local official, and his mother was deeply religious. From her, Gandhi learned about truth, simplicity, and the power of self-discipline. Vocabulary: self-discipline. It means controlling your own behavior and actions, even when it's hard. Like waking up early every day, even if you want to stay in bed. As a child, Gandhi was not very remarkable. He wasn't a great student, nor was he especially brave. In fact, he was terrified of the dark and even afraid of speaking in front of people. But something inside him was growing, a quiet hunger for truth and justice. At 19, Gandhi left India to study law in London. It was there that he first tasted the complexity of cultures, languages, and beliefs. He tried to fit in, wearing suits, eating Western food, and trying to act like a British gentleman. But deep inside, he felt like he didn't belong. One day, while reading different books about religion and philosophy, he discovered a deeper truth, that real strength comes from within. He returned to India, but soon left again to work as a lawyer in South Africa. What happened there would change his life, and the world, forever. In South Africa, Gandhi faced discrimination everywhere he went. Once, he was thrown off a train just because he was Indian. Another time, he was beaten for walking in an area reserved for white people. But instead of responding with violence, he did something no one expected. He stayed calm. He decided to fight injustice with truth and nonviolence. Vocabulary: injustice. It means something unfair, like when someone is treated badly because of their race, gender, or beliefs. He created a new kind of resistance, something called satyagraha. It means truth force in Sanskrit. It wasn't just about protesting. It was about changing hearts, even of your enemies. Vocabulary: resistance. Here it means refusing to accept something wrong or unfair, especially by standing together peacefully. For 21 years, Gandhi led peaceful protests in South Africa. He was arrested many times, beaten, insulted, but he never gave up. His courage inspired thousands. When he finally returned to India in 1915, he was no longer just a lawyer. He was a leader. India at that time was under British rule. The people were poor, voiceless, and desperate. Many Indians accepted British control as unchangeable. But Gandhi did. He traveled across the country, not as a politician, but as a friend. He wore simple clothes, a cotton dhoti, and lived among the poor. He listened to their struggles. And then, he gave them something powerful: hope. One of his most famous protests was the Salt March in 1930. The British had made it illegal for Indians to make their own salt, something people needed to survive. Gandhi walked 240 miles, barefoot, to the sea, and picked up a handful of salt. That simple act sparked a national movement. Vocabulary: sparked means to start something suddenly, like a spark starting a fire. His action sparked protests all over India. Thousands were arrested. But the world took notice. Newspapers across Europe and America printed Gandhi's story. People began to ask, how is this peaceful man shaking the most powerful empire in the world? But the path was not easy. Gandhi was imprisoned several times. Each time, he came back stronger. He also fasted, sometimes for days, even weeks, to protest violence. He believed if he could purify his own body and soul, it would influence others to do the same. Vocabulary: purify means to clean something deeply, not just physically, but spiritually or morally. By 1947, India finally gained independence. But Gandhi didn't celebrate. He was heartbroken by the violence between Hindus and Muslims that followed. Even after giving his life to unity, the country was being torn apart by hatred. He tried again to bring peace, fasting, praying, walking between villages. He was now nearly 80, his body weak, but his soul unbreakable. On January 30, 1948, Gandhi was walking to a prayer meeting in Delhi when a man stepped forward and shot him. Gandhi's final words were, "Hey Ram, a prayer to God." He died the way he lived, in peace. Even now, decades later, his legacy lives on. Martin Luther King Jr., Nelson Mandela, and countless others were inspired by Gandhi's example. His life showed that you don't need violence to create change, only truth, courage, and love. Vocabulary: legacy means what someone leaves behind, their ideas, their impact, their influence on the world. Mahatma Gandhi wasn't a king. He wasn't rich. He didn't lead with armies. But his weapon was more powerful than all of that, his conscience. Vocabulary: conscience is the inner voice that tells you what is right or wrong. Gandhi always followed his conscience, even when it was difficult. So, what can we learn from Gandhi? That being strong doesn't mean shouting the loudest. That real power doesn't come from anger, but from calm. That one quiet voice, full of truth, can echo through history. And maybe, just maybe, in a world full of noise, it's the silent ones who change everything. Vocabulary recap: used naturally in story. Self-discipline, controlling yourself even when it's hard. Injustice, unfair treatment or situations. Resistance, standing against something wrong. Sparked, suddenly started something. Purify, deeply clean or cleanse. Legacy, what someone leaves behind. Conscience, inner sense of right and wrong. If you found Gandhi's story powerful, don't forget to subscribe for more stories like this. And in the comments, tell us, what's one thing you learned from Gandhi's life? Thanks for watching, and keep learning, one story at a time.